Hello, 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 and welcome to Real Talk with Elder Michelle. I am so happy to be live with you all again. I'm feeling a little better, and so it's nice to see you all tonight. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend and a blessed day on yesterday. I hope that you were able to get a good word from heaven and you had a great time in your service as I did. I hope to see you all first Sunday when we will be back. Greater Harvest will be back with its um, first Sunday service. We have not moved to first, third, and fourth yet, so we are still first and third. So we hope to see you first Sunday in September. So we are just moving forward and praying that God will continue to bless Greater Harvest. And as y'all know, I like to keep you abreast of everything. I have put Sassy Sauces on hold for a little bit while I go through some of the business end. I was informed that I needed to get some business stuff situated first like copywriting my work so that no one can just steal Sassy Sauces. I need to create an LLC for it. I didn't realize I needed to go through all of that. I'm like, I just want to sell my sauces. But just so that my recipes are safe, I was like told you might want to first, before you launch, go ahead and make your company an LLC so your logo is yours, and then no one can steal your recipes because if they steal them, they have to pay for it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we will come back and let you know when we are launching Sassy Sauces and where you'll be able to come and get some and sample them, and then how to purchase them. But we are going to make sure that we have all things in order, decent and in order, so that it can be blessed. Next, as y'all know, I have a lot of different things that I'm in and I'm dealing. I handle Greater Harvest as a pastor and getting the church off the ground as a virtual church. But we also are hoping to next year, early part of next year, have a physical building that you can actually come to and worship with us on first and third Sundays and on Tuesday night Bible studies. So we're hoping to move forward and hopefully we will have you there with us. But I want to talk about Sunday morning moments with Pastor Michelle. They air every Sunday at 8 a.m. And I do appreciate those of you that follow. I am so honored and humbled by the people that come up to me at different churches, at our assembly, and they're like, I see you and they first to say Gospel Awakenings, which was where I first started doing a Sunday morning moment. And it was an inspirational moment with Pastor Michelle through a Gospel Awakenings. And when they had, I had to pull back. I was getting married and funds and all, but I still support Gospel Awakenings. And so people were seeing it, and I had people that were like, "Oh, I missed it. Where is it?" So I said, "Well, we'll see what the Lord says." And the Lord was like, "Do Sunday morning moments with Pastor Michelle. You can go ahead. You've learned so much from um, Bishop Jenkins and Sister Blackwell. They taught you so much about doing the using media and how to make your program so that you are projecting and you're talking to the people and how to look at cameras and mirrors and lights timing, all of those things. I thank them so much for all of that. And So anyway, that's where Sunday Morning Moments with Pastor Michelle came from. It is a sort of mix of the thought for the day and inspirational moment um, with Elder, with Pastor Michelle, and that's where it came from. So please make sure 8 a.m. Sunday mornings, while you're getting things together and maybe getting that cup of coffee, sit down and click it on. It airs at 8. It streams on YouTube. Elder Michelle Hinton. You can find me there, and you can subscribe to the channel or follow and like, and you'll always know when it's on. Or Facebook Live, it streams there as well. So I am going to be streaming to some other places. Just give me a little time. Yeah, I'm going to be I'm trying to get that word out every which way I can. I'm going to have a podcast coming soon, and that is going to be um, Palmer and Palmer. That's me and my husband, and we're going to be having a podcast. It's audio, and I might do some audio visual podcast, but that's coming. That's going to be talking about all types of things, relationship things, and marriage and meeting. Hello, Pastor Armstrong. Good to see you. And it's going to be involving some of my single and saved, which is why tonight's show is a special edition of my single and saved group that I have on Facebook as well. And so hopefully they will be joining in tonight. I did post it in single and saved so that they know that I'm on with it. But yeah, Palmer and Palmer, or P&P. I haven't decided on its name, but that podcast is coming. I'm like this. The Lord give it, I'ma work. If he say I want you to do something, I'm gonna do it. Sometimes, yes, I do get tired, but if we faint not, we'll keep going, and we'll do what thus saith the Lord, and he'll carry us when we're tired. So either way, and he knows how to tell me, okay, look, girl, take a break. It's time to take a break. And I do. Even if I have to run a rerun just so that I take the break. But I do try to stay obedient, not busy, because I don't think that when you get busy, you forget the Lord. So I'm not busy. Instead, I'm obedient. And so I try to do what he wants. Greater Harvest it does take a lot of time, simply because that's a church. That's not like getting up here and having a topic. But anyway, before I get into my topic tonight, I do want to push this. I want to push it. Do not miss next Monday, August 24th. I am going to be interviewing an amazing person. This woman, oh my God. Go to Amazon, put in Charlie Ann, and it's for books, Charlie Ann, and it's going to bring up Better Than, Are You Better Than? And click it. Okay, you ain't got to buy it yet. There is a little excerpt for the book. Read the excerpt. I promise you that when you read the excerpt, that free little bit, you're going to buy the book, because you're going to want to know what happened. But what happened? Oh, I need to know what happened, what was next. You will buy that book. And I'm here to tell you, this young lady, she is amazing. She is an author. She is an entrepreneur. And the food at her restaurant, let me tell you something. I'm a girl that I love my fish, but you got to know how to cook my fish. And don't come giving me this little skimpy piece of thing that's a little fried hard nugget either. So when I went to her place, Fat Daddy's, oh my God, the fish, I got a little fish basket that was the fish and French fries. Oh my God. I had so many French fries. I'm like, well, that's too, I don't know, go eat all of them. And the fish was hanging over the basket. and it was so good. It was seasoned just right. Okay, so then we went back. Okay, another date, and we got something different. Now, the first time I had the fish, my husband had the Philly cheesesteak. That was good because he let me taste it. It was like, if I won't eating this fish, I would take your cheesesteak. That's how good it was. So then we went back. I got me what did I get? I got chicken wings. And those were straight. So I'm here to tell you the food. Oh my God. And she has two locations in Raleigh. And one of them is she told me what it serves. It serves more of a like upper scale dinner. And it's over on, I think she said Six Forks in Raleigh. And it has a Cornish hen that is stuffed with collard greens, yams. I forget what else she said. Oh, mac and cheese, I think. Oh my God. It was like, so you got the whole meal in the chicken. And it's, all I can say is food bomb. It's the bomb. And then on top of that, she is a preacher. She does conferences. Uh, she does a series called Better Than. Are you better than? And it's different things. Are you better than your struggle? Are you better than this? It's just amazing. She's just really awesome. And like I said, the book, to find out her story. If you ever been through anything, you don't want to miss August 24th, 7 p.m. next Monday when I interview Charlie Ann. You don't want to miss it. You need to make sure you're on and ready because she'll be up here. You'll be able to ask questions. We'll see them. I will tell her what the question was so that if she can give you an answer. And I'm going to be interviewing her. And then after Charlie Ann, I am going to see, this is August, in October, prayerfully, if things go well, I am going to be interviewing a young man that just made the Guinness Book of World Records. He just set a record for the high jump. And not only that, he is an awesome athlete and athletic trainer, coach, and personal trainer. He has his own brand, Only the Strong, and he's just amazing. He has so much going for him, and so much he has a struggle too. That he has a story, and he happens to be my son and nephew. He's my nephew, but I call him my son. So we're gonna have a interview with him, hopefully in October if all works out. I'm gonna get with him because I got to set his schedule because he's in Alaska, so we're 4 hours difference. So that means at 7 when I'm airing, over there it's 3 p.m. So we're gonna have to work my schedule. We got to work out a time frame and get that. I may have to interview him and record and then air it instead of doing it live. But we're gonna see. We're gonna work it out. We'll work it out. So anyway, don't miss Monday, August 24th, 7 p.m. Charlie Ann. Watch the commercials that I'm rolling, the flyers, so that you don't forget. All right, so let's get into tonight. Like I said, tonight is a special edition for Single and Saved. And my topic is, can I really do that? And that is because, I don't know, I was listening to someone and they were talking about how it's okay to be saved and live together. And then, the thing that was so funny is that after I saw that, I flipped on my Facebook, and the first thing that popped up was this thing from a church that says, How is the church growing when you living, you shacking together, you living in sin, you partying, and you still want God to bless you and say, "I'm saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized." And I was like, "Oh my God!" So I said, "Okay, Lord, I got you." And here's the thing. Let me tell you right now. Yes, I'm married now, but I understand the struggle of single and saved because I stayed single and saved until I got married. Okay. I did fall once and I got myself together. I asked the Lord to forgive me and I promised him and made the vow that I will not fall that way again. And so I did not. And I stayed straight. So living single and saved is a unique season of freedom and spiritual growth. So I want to talk to the single and saved and those of you that are saved and in relationships, because we're going to talk about how to handle your relationship, setting your boundaries, the do's and the don'ts. Because look, it's a hard job. I know. I've been there. It's a hard job to be in a relationship. Emotions start building. And look, let me tell you something. I'm going to dismiss the crazy. The crazy that says, well, just don't even go. Don't get, look, if I'm in a relationship with you and we liking each other, I am not taking a chaperone every time we go out to dinner. I'm not going to have someone be a chaperone because I'm still 10, 15 that I can't control my hormones for you to be able for me to say, well, I'm going to fix a nice dinner for you tonight coming over. What am I still a teenager with raging hormones out of control that I got to have a whole party come over? I think not. So we're going to talk about how to set your boundaries so that you can date. And this person, if you're growing with them. Here's the thing. You should be dating someone that is equally yoked with you, meaning they should be having the same things, the same feelings about the do's and the don'ts. So, first of all, make sure that that's where you're at, because if that ain't where that other person is, then you don't need to be in that with them. All right. So, first, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read my scripture. I'm coming out of John 4 and 16. And it says, Jesus saith unto her, Go, call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that saidest thou truly. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. All right, so let's talk about it. First of all, let's get to the gist of that scripture. Y'all done all heard it, and everybody likes to skip over it. But let's break it down. What was Jesus saying? He was letting her, because see, she goes back, and y'all got to remember, she goes back and says, I met a man that told me all that I had, whatever I had done. And here's the thing. This is the only thing that he said to her about what she had done. The other, he talked about to her about the Messiah coming and the spirit and worship. The only thing that he talked to her about, all that she had done, was about that husband stuff. So what does that mean? The Lord was letting her know, I know that you with one, you living with somebody, and that ain't your husband. Okay? Means that you're shacking. He told her all that she had done, what she was up to. She done been married 5 times, and it didn't say nothing about that they had died. So you done had 5 husbands. And the one you with now, that means you living with, you ain't even married to that one. You in his household. All right, so what are we talking about? We're going to talk about thriving, focusing on a deepening relationship with God, building a strong community, and avoiding the trap of viewing your singleness as a waiting room or a punishment. I want you to understand, I never saw singlehood as being a punishment. I always lived mine as the unique season of freedom and spiritual growth. I looked at it as this is my time to work on me so that I can be ready to marry someone. Because you want to run around and ask the Lord to bless you with a husband, and you are not ready to live with another person because you're not ready to share your life. You want to get married and have that man's name, but or as many like to do these days, I ain't seen it in the Bible nowhere because I didn't see anywhere where it said Mary of Arama or wherever she was from, with her daddy's last name and then her husband's. I ain't seen none of that. I didn't see nothing about Mary was a hyphenated name or none of that. It was she was Joseph's wife. Yeah, but we then got to where it's we want to be my last name hyphenated his name, or even more boldly, women that tell him you take my name instead. I'm like, how you gonna do that? You ain't the head of the house. He is. That's according to scripture. So anyway, we're gonna do the do's first. What's the do's? Do seek God first. Use your undivided time to study the word, pray, and grow closer to Jesus. Let me tell you something. It was tantamount to my singlehood. I learned to seek the Lord about people. I knew that I wanted to marry my husband because I sought the Lord. I talked with him and I prayed because I told the Lord, I said, I ain't doing this thing unless it's somebody you send. So I'm gonna need for you to make sure I know it's you sent them. Otherwise, I ain't doing it. Do serve actively. Pour your energy into your church, community, and friends. Don't sit around like, well, okay. Let me tell you one of the most liberating things I did when I was single. I went out and ate by myself to a restaurant. I ate in. I didn't get to the restaurant and go to the pickup line. And I was one of those people that I did not do that. And it was so liberating because it said I went and they was like, how many? I said, one. And they was like, do you want to sit at the bar? No, I want a table. So they took me, seated me, and they was and then the next thing was here come my server. Are we waiting? No, it's just me. Oh, okay. And after that, I got over. I went through, and it was like, oh, I love this. I didn't have to worry about. I had my own free. It was my time, and I treated me. I treated me to a night out, and it was lovely. So go and then put your energy into your church. I was like, what do you need me to do? I'll do it. And I still, but well, one, I love working in the church. That is a joy to me. If you want me to teach something, I'll teach it. Teach Bible school, Sunday school, Bible study, Sunday school, vacation Bible school. I don't care. You want me to preach, I preach. You want me to do a women's conference, you want me to write it, I'll do it as I because I'm certified to do a certified motivational speaker. So I know how to put a women's. I've done it before. I can write up and put together the whole program, what you want me to do, how I want to carry out the conference, and collaborate with the person to make sure, go to look. I have a thing, a website that publishes everything that I do. Anyway, because I love working for the Lord. So I'm always ready to teach and preach. I love seeing people learn. Then set clear boundaries. Protect your physical, emotional, and spiritual purity. Let me tell you, you have to set those boundaries. When I started dating my husband, and I knew that it was going to be it was going to be serious because I could tell it was different. I let him know up front what my boundaries were. This is what we're not going to do. This is what's not going to happen. This is what I believe. This is the promise I made to the Lord. So, if this is a problem for you, you might as well keep moving. If you're not marriage minded, there's no point in us talking. I'm not dating for fun. Set the boundaries. So spiritual boundaries is the first thing that you should set. Guard your conviction. Agree on a shared standard for purity and devotion before you start dating. Make sure you set your boundary. You got to know what you want and what you should know what your bottom line is. Okay? And if they cross the bottom line, no. I don't care how much begging they do. No. You're done. You crossed it. Keep God at the center. Pray together. That is one thing that I can say took me away with him. We talked on the phone for the first time that we talked on the phone. And the first thing he said before we got off was, "Can I pray for you?" I said, "What? Yeah, okay." I'm like, "What? He want to pray?" Ain't nobody that want to pray. Okay. They got him a second chance, third, fourth, fifth one, because the boy liked to pray. I'm like, I like that, and he went to church with me. So make sure that you pray together, but do not replace your individual quiet time with God for couples prayer. Keep your quiet time with you and the Lord, because you still need that. And then avoid emotional enmeshment. That do not look to your partner to fulfill spiritual needs that only God can meet. You know, I have heard people say, "Oh, he completes me." No, he does not. No, he doesn't complete you. She doesn't complete you. Only God completes you. He's the one that makes you whole, not a person. So don't do that. Exactly, Sister Smith. Don't leave God out. Um, and then enjoy your life. Travel, pick up some hobbies, find joy in the present rather than waiting for a spouse to start living. I went anywhere. I was driving to Florida when my nephew son moved there, the oldest one, him and his wife. Shoot, I went there for my birthday. I went and took my own trips to Virginia Beach. And it won't nobody. Now my sister and them went with me the last time that I went. But before that, that was my getaway for my birthday. I didn't need nobody to go with me. I traveled on up there. I went anywhere I wanted to go. Then I flew to Las Vegas, Nevada, to celebrate my nephew's 21st birthday. I took him there. Look, people would say it's hard keeping up with Elder Michelle because she stay on the go. Don't sit around moping and feeling like your life doesn't begin until you get married. You should be building that, because see, here's the thing. Then your marriage, that person that comes into your life, is going to be bound down and bogged down with the responsibility of keeping you happy. And I think Kirk Franklin said it best when he says that you want joy in the Lord, not happy, because if you're happy, it's got to mean something's happening. And that means that a person has to make you happy or keep you happy. They got to always have something going on where you can't even just sit and have quiet time together and still be at ease. So don't wait for a spouse before you live. And then build a supportive community. Surround yourself with godly friends who hold you accountable. Don't get yes men and yes women to be your friends. The ones that, yes, oh, you're all right, you're doing good. Yeah, it's okay that you did. Oh, don't worry. God understands that you're lonely. No, you need a friend there to say, look, you know better. You done heard the voice of the Lord and you know better. So why are you even asking me, do you think it's okay if I do that? You know the answer already. All right. And then some of the things that you shouldn't settle for. Don't settle in relationships. Avoid lowering your standards or ignoring those glaring red flags just to escape being alone. And that's that compromising. You done set the boundary, but because you like this person and they're putting you under the pressure that you used to be under when you was 14, 15, if you love me, you will. then if they doing that, kick them to the curb. Because if they loved you, they wouldn't. So don't lower your standards just to escape being alone. Instead, learn to love your alone time. Don't compromise your values. Guard your heart and body, and never lower your moral integrity out of desperation or loneliness. This is why it's important to do things. If you're busy with church and activities and community and travel and giving yourself, loving yourself, you ain't got time to be lonely. You're too busy. So don't sit around and then when that person come along, you quick to fall and let go of all of the boundaries, all of the moral things that you have set. Don't put your life on hold. Um, don't isolate yourself and stay connected to the body of Christ rather than pulling away when you feel lonely. Let me tell you, if you're feeling lonely, go to church. There is somebody else there that is feeling the same. Exactly, Sister Smith. I was reading what you was writing, what you had written. Exactly. If that person wants you to go against God, kick them to the curb real quick. That is a red flag. Then set yourself some physical boundaries. Talk openly about specific physical boundaries, holding hands, hugging, and what is strictly off limits. And like I said, let me tell you something. Don't go to talking about, well, I ain't gonna kiss him. Well, okay, look, let me tell you something. I kissed man beforehand, but I did know how to tell him, okay, all right, we need to go to separate corners here or something. Because I'm a grown woman. I ain't no little teeny boppy that kissing is gonna automatically lead to me my clothes falling off. That's someone with no self control. Now, if you one that know that you have no self-control, then you might need chaperones. You might need to don't have it where y'all are ever alone with each other. But if you know that your heart is set on the Lord and that you are strong in your faith and what your belief, and you've set your boundaries first, then you ain't got to worry about it. Because you'll know that no, I can't do that. I ain't even got to ask the question, can I do that? No. I'll be like, no, I can't do that. Identify what your triggers are. I mean, come on. If you know that this is going to lead to that, then avoid that trigger. But if holding his hand is not going to lead you to losing your clothes, then hold their hand. If a hug or just sitting and watching TV with your head on their shoulder, if that is not going to cause or be a trigger, you can do it. But now, if you know that that is going to lead to something with you, don't do it. Avoid your triggers. Avoid environments that invite temptation, such as late nights alone in empty houses or apartments. And what that means is that's not saying that he can't cook dinner and you go over and y'all gonna have movie night and dinner. That's not what it means. What it means is don't stay past that hour. You know which hour I'm talking about. The witching hour. When it's so late. Maybe I shouldn't drive home. And then, well, I got another room. Well, you can sleep there. Don't even. Don't even. That's identifying a trigger. That's get yourself. Don't stay past the hour. You know what hour. Dress for account. Choose clothing that respects yourself and helps your partner honor you. Don't go over for that dinner. Or better still, I'm gonna talk to the ladies for a minute. Don't invite him over to dinner, and you know what you done. You done took your perfume, that one that he always be like, you smell so good. You done squirted it on the couch so that when y'all sit there, he gonna sniff it. You got it right there behind the ear and your pulse points, so that when y'all sitting on the couch, gonna watch TV, seeing like, and he's smelling it, and then you want to get annoyed because he getting frisky. You don't want to set the tone. You set the environment, and then you already got on the dress that that cleavage is down to here. So if you lean over, he can look right there and see them. Or your dress is so tight that he can tell what you got on, what kind of panties you're wearing, or your pants too tight that he can tell you ain't got no panties on, or your dress too short so it's easy access. Don't dress like that, because that's setting that person up. Dress for accountability and keep your curfew. That's what I meant by that. You know the hour. Establish a hard stop time for dates to avoid making compromised decisions late at night. Exactly. You have to know you and be real with yourself. Where I can't go beyond this point, respect each other. You should be honest and upfront. You should set your boundaries. You know best what you can and cannot put up with, because I know me. And because I know me, I knew what to tell him, what won't. And then set the emotional boundaries. Because look, let's be real. Pace your vulnerability. Share your deep life secrets, past traumas, and future marriage dreams slowly. Don't jump right in and, you know, I was here, I was hurt so bad before, and they did this and this and this. All you doing is setting yourself up, because if this is a predator, you just told him what he needs to know, or you told her what she needs to know. And they know how to play. A predator will become the best person in the world until they got you. So share it slowly. Don't go into your secret life until you're sure that when you are confident in that person, then you do it. And you should not be confident if they're not even talking about marriage, but that's what your dream is for marriage. Then if you're dating for marriage and they not talking and they done made it sort of clear that, look, let me tell you something. When I was on the sites and dude tried to hit up, he wanted to talk. But I looked at his profile. And he was basically talking about how, no, I'm just looking for a steady friend, someone to travel with, a companion, not interested in marriage. I was like, well, now. So I asked him point blank, I was like, well, what did you hit me up for? Because what does my profile say? He said, oh, I didn't read your profile. I just saw your picture. You was cute. I'm like, well, you should have read my profile, because I'm not interested in being a travel buddy and a friend with benefits. That's not who I am. First of all, you would have seen I'm a pastor. Second of all, you would have seen I'm up here. And if you're not interested in marriage, then we're not a match. So you've just wasted some time. Limit relationship talk. Avoid overly intense conversations about the deep future too early in the relationship. You know how it is. I told y'all before, when I talked about single safe, and I told you about a friend of mine where I talked to him because I wanted a male's perspective. And he said one of the issues, I told y'all that he said one of the issues was he go to church and they start sizing him up like he was a piece of meat. And that used to bug him. And then the other thing he said was, go and you're trying to get to know the person, and they don't want to talk about yes. And what I'm hoping is that we'll be able to have a child. I want to get married I already picked my date. I want to get married in October. I already know my colors. He was like, well, dang, this is just the second date. And you done already picked the marriage colors, and okay. And he knew I need to ease up out of here. He said, so that was one of the turnoffs, is these ladies that they would get too deep too quick. They want to go to talking, and he hadn't even broached the subject or the fact whether that he wanted to get married or anything. Then maintain your independence. Let me tell you something. I loved doing stuff, and I still love doing things with my husband. I love doing things with him when we were engaged. I love doing things with him when we were dating. But I also still loved doing things by myself. I still love my independent things, doing my own hobbies, working on my own personal goals, and handling my individual routine. And I used to tell him, look, Talk to your friends. He had a friend that wanted him to go to church. I was like, go to church with him. You don't have to come down and go to church with me. Every opportunity, if your friend wants you to go with him, go. And he did. And it was like, because look, we still have to have our outside interest. Because if I become your only interest, I can tell you what's going to happen. One of two and both things. Look, you are going to get to feeling like I don't want you around, because I'm going to get bored with I don't never have any free time to myself. I'm a person that I like having my own time to myself. Um, I like when, and that's one of the things that's so great about our marriage, is that if I'm over here on the computer playing on a game or doodling or something, he does not attempt to break into that. He does his own thing, and I'll do mine. And then when I'm ready for us to, I'm like, ooh, I might be missing chit chatting, and I'll stop and start playing with him, or he'll start playing with me, because we have that ability to make sure that we each have our own time. So maintain your independence, guard your heart. Don't give away the emotional intimacy reserved for a spouse to someone who is still just a partner. You know what? Just because we done went out to dinner a few times does not mean you got sleepover privileges, because you don't. You do not have sleepover privileges until I have a ring on it. And that's what you need to make sure your boundaries are set. Because I'm talking to single and saved. I'm not talking about single and religious. Okay. Because the religious ones are them ones that say that we is just gonna live together so that I can get see how it's gonna be to be married to you. I got news for you. Let me tell you about that. Living together will not tell you how the other person is in marriage. Why? Because I'm glad that you asked. Let me tell you why. Because you're still being well behaved. You still lifting the lid, and she's still wearing lipstick to bed. So basically, what that means is exactly. I was coming to that, Elder Morrison. I'm gonna make my statement on that one in just a second. Because like, I've heard once, I had a friend that said, well, we ain't shacking, we trying it out to see how it is before marriage. I said, no, you're not. I said, because let me tell you something, y'all still in the period of he'll lift the lid and you'll wear lipstick to bed. Basically, what it means is y'all still doing that dating thing where I want him to think I'm so, oh, I wake up fresh every morning. Yes. Yes, I look like this all the time. Yeah, he don't know about when you wipe off all the makeup, you put the rollers in your head, or you got them little foam things. Yeah, he don't know about the bonnet over your head, or you done put the thing and tied the rag up on your head, because he ain't seen that. Because see, you still being cute. Yes. And when you live together, you still want to be cute, and you ain't seen him walking around and he scratches behind and sit there on the couch like Ted Bundy on the on that show, and got his hands in his pants waistband, or that he farts. Okay, see, because all those things, you still being cute, because the mindset is I can walk away. Marriage mindset is takes a lot to get out of this. So you put the work in, and it becomes a different thing. And some of the things that you thought you wouldn't deal with, yeah, you will. So now living together, Shaq, is just what it is. It's just living together. It ain't helping you decide nothing, because that's not, you're not seeing the them, the everyday them. Cause see, when you say it, just think of it like this: when you first get married, you still a little timid with each other because you don't really know everything. Exactly, it's false advertisement. Everything false: the hair, the nails, the butt. You got it. It's all false, all fake, all false. I look, let me teach you something. Before we got married, I took my hair out and let him see my record and let him see them days that I didn't feel like doing them, but pulling it back in a ponytail and putting a bang. I was like, you need to see so that when we get married, we didn't live together, but I was like, I don't want you surprised when we get married, and I don't go to the beauty salon and get my hair done. I need for you to not be surprised that I might pull this hair back in a ponytail and put a bang and roll out. So I let him see the real, all of it in its glory. With so he won't shop. Thankfully, he still thought I was cute. Now, Ella Morrison put something up there, and I want to address it because this is something that I told Single and Saved before. I said, not just the engagement ring. Don't say you can't stay over or we be together and you biblically know me until a ring is on it. Because see, let me just tell you, that's the ring that you want. That's the one that counts. Not the cute one. Because that one right there, that means I ain't carrying your name yet. That means that by law, I ain't married to you yet. So until I get that one, which is the married ring, yeah, you still on the boundaries, buddy. You still live by the boundaries and my do's and my don'ts. Because that just means you promising. Because let me tell you something. I done had some girlfriends that failed. And then what? After he got what he was after, he come back talking about, well, I don't know. I just don't think we ready. And she was like, what? I'm planning and setting date. What? I said, I told you that he done got what he wanted. He put a ring on it just to get it. Because he can take the ring and say, never mind. You didn't wait for the right ring. The right ring is that one. Then you, as I used to tell them, then you can have some cookies. But you can't have no cookies until I got the right ring. So you got to set those boundaries. You have to stand by your boundaries. Stay focused. Don't just turn loose because they gave you some sweet talks. As I told a girlfriend once before, she was like, oh, your boyfriend, oh, he says the sweetest things, blah, blah, blah. Because she was comparing him to her husband. And I told her, I said, wait a minute. I said, do you go out in the winter and scrape the ice off of your car and turn it on and warm it up so that when you get in it, it's nice and cozy? Do you have to go out in the cold first and do that? She said, no, he always got my car. I just put on my coat and go out. He said, baby, it's ready. I said, do you take the car and get the oil changes and the tires and take care of the maintenance on your car? She's like, no, he do it. I said, in the winter, in the summer, do you have to go out in the sweltering heat to turn your air conditioner on and cool your car down? She was like, no. I said, honey, I'll take that over you looking so fine and so sweet. And you is just the cream in my coffee. Because being the cream in your coffee ain't did nothing for me on those things that I need some help with. I told her, I said, you need to understand his sweet nothings is just that, nothing. Your husband is putting in action his love for you. So you need to pay attention to those things and stop looking at these young, these single ladies who got these guys that sweet talking them into the bed. I said, because see, some of them ain't looking at it like me and saying it's sweet nothings, and that's just it, nothing. So he ain't getting nothing. They falling for it. So be careful. Then make sure that when you set your boundaries, you know how to talk to the person and communicate your boundaries. Pick the right time. Have the conversation during a casual, low stakes daytime setting. never in a moment of physical or emotional intimacy. You look, ain't no need to try to set no boundary when you done went there. And now he just about, and you just about, and now you want to go, oh, wait, I have boundaries. He looking at you like, what? Well, why didn't you talk about, why did you lead me here if this isn't where you want it to be? Set your boundaries so that you don't get disrespected. Speak in I statements. Focus on your personal convictions and goals rather than sounding like you are policing their behavior. Say, I am not ready to move to that. I have set boundaries for myself, and I am not going to break those. Those are promises that I made to myself and to my Lord and Savior. Don't tell them, I'm telling you now, this ain't what we going to do because you got to this and you can't. Just say what you put it out there. Lead with your why. Explain that your boundaries exist because you value your faith, your future, and the relationship itself. You tell them, look, I think that we are on track for a great future. I hope that the relationship will grow. So I think it's best that I tell you where I am and how I want my relationships to grow. Tell them where you at. Be specific, stay clear. Don't muddle it with, well, I don't want to do anything, and we need to make sure that we stay careful. No, look, this is what I'm not going to do. Before marriage, there would be no sexual intercourse, and there ain't no need to try and tell me that certain things ain't sexual intercourse, because that ain't happening either. I'm not going to help you, and you don't need to help me. Okay? So let's get that clear right now. And then pay attention to their reactions. If they respect you, and question or dismiss your standards, if they respect them, then there's someone to pay attention. Now, here's what you need to do. Physical limits, what it sounds like. You should say, because my faith and purity are important to me, I want to keep our physical relationship to holding hands and hugging. I want to make sure we honor God together. And if you don't mind kissing, because you know that you can kiss, as I feel comfortable, we can we may kiss. But if I'm not even comfortable with that, we're gonna stay right here. Set your limits. Say what you can. I really enjoy spending time with you, but I also want to make sure we keep space for our own friends and hobbies. Let's aim for 1 or 2 planned dates a week. Don't spend every waking moment we got to be together. Um, Tell the person, I love getting to know you, but I want to take our time sharing our deep personal histories. Don't go there so quick, and tell them to make sure we both stick to our goals. I have a rule about not hanging out alone in apartments late at night. Let's plan to meet up in public instead. Or if, like I said, I'm going to be honest. I don't think that if you are a person that knows yourself and knows your self control, I don't think there's anything wrong with inviting them over to a dinner and a movie, long as you set the tone. Don't go get in the movie that's got a whole bunch of love scenes and sex scenes. Look at Jumanji. You hear what I say? The Secret Life of Pets too. Get something that's, or get Jason Statham. Get get an action movie where it's us. He's doing martial arts and stuff. Don't go getting the love scene movies and then think y'all sitting there and now you're trying. You gotta, because yes, that is one of their facts. The Lord know you got needs. He sure do. And he also know that he gave you self-control because you're higher and above all of the other animals that follow their instincts. You supposed to know how to say no. If they laugh or minimize it and say things like, I know this might seem strict to some people, but this is deeply important to me. If we are going to date, I need to know you respect this. If they try to negotiate, say, these aren't points up for debate. They are the standards I need to feel safe, respected, and happy in a relationship. And if they repeatedly push past them, drop them, kick them to the curb, and be done with it. You have to learn to set your boundaries in order to reach the goal that of you wanting to be or get married. Then you got to present what you want to be respected as. You can't say I'm single and I'm saved, but I'm gonna act like my girlfriend over there that she go to church sometimes. You got to be on one side or the other of the fence. So can I really do that? No, you can't. Not if you're going to say that I am truly single and saved. Not if you're going to say I really do want to obey the Lord Jesus. Because he says, if you love me, you keep my commandments. And that means you'll follow through. And yes, it gets tough. But if you really want to be respected and you really want them to see you for uh, a lady and not a gal, not a babe, a chick, not a cutie, but you want to be seen as a lady, then act like one, dress like one, behave like one, and keep your boundaries in place. Don't ever let someone push you past what you are comfortable with. And make sure that you have told them these things up front. And if they disrespect it, then you know that they're going to disrespect you. That means get out before you get caught up. Don't wake up one morning realizing I done got caught up with some stupid dude or some crazy chick and I can't get out now. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Set your boundaries and stand your ground. And don't compromise. Loneliness is not an excuse to compromise because there are many things that can fill those lonely moments. And one of them is the greatest thing in the world, and that's Jesus. He's the greatest person that you can fill your lonely moments with because he'll carry you through those times. So stand your ground, stay firm, and stay focused. And again, do not miss next Monday. I'm going to be interviewing Charlie Ann. And Charlie Ann is, like I said, go to Amazon.com, pull up books, type in Charlie Ann, CHARLIE, and then Ann, ANN. And it's going to bring up Are You Better Than? And you read that excerpt, I promise you that when y'all come on to the interview Monday, you'll have questions because you done read her book and you want to ask her some personal things that's in that book. You want to ask about how did she handle it or whatever. So do be here because I'm going to do the interview, but I am going to have open question time that she can be asked questions. Y'all post them even while I'm interviewing. Post your question. I'll put it out there. I'll ask it and get you your answer. But I'm telling you, go to Amazon.com, read the excerpt. You're gonna wanna be on this interview next Monday. I promise you. Because you're gonna read things and be like, I need to know what happened. How did she handle? What did she do? How did she do that? And then she's going to also be able to give pointers on how she started her own business, some of the ups and downs and the things that she had to do, how she got it successful to where she's got 2 restaurants in Raleigh. And that's just in Raleigh. And then just traveling, doing conferences all over the United States. being asked to speak at different things, and holding special women's retreats. You're going to want to know. So don't miss it. And thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope that this was helpful, especially to the ones that are single and saved, but also to those of us that are married, so that you got some info to pass on to your young ladies that you come across that look up to you. You'll be able to help them. So I pray that we have done something that will bless you. And I pray that I will see you tomorrow. Well, I won't. Uh, Elder Palmer will, because he'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Greater Harvest Bible Study. So don't miss it. Well, I'll be up here because I'll be listening and going amen. But join us on tomorrow. Have a blessed rest of your night.